Namaste friends, welcome you all to this transformational meditation class on Sankalp Shakti or the power of intention. So it's been a slight gap since I've taken any meditation class, and I'm really happy to be back with you all with this Sunday meditation class on Sankalp Shakti, the power of intention. So we'll first go through a small presentation and then we'll have a guided meditation. Question answers would be there after the presentation, and then we'll have again sharing of experiences after the meditation. So let us begin with this journey on understanding our Sankalp Shakti or the power of intention. So in Sanskrit, Sankalp is what we call as intention in English, and it is that which precedes any action. Before you take any action, you need to first have an intention, and that intention is what drives the action later on. So that is the Sankalp Shakti, which is behind all manifestation. You need to first have the thought of creating something or doing something. Any action in the material plane is always preceded by the Sankalpa or the thought, which is the intent. So intention is the core of all conscious life. We as human beings are sentient beings. We have consciousness and we have a highly evolved consciousness, and in that we make choices, which means that we live our lives consciously. We just don't live unconsciously. And for any conscious living, it's important to have the conscious intentions, and it is like these conscious intentions are like the colors that move everything in our known world. So this is the transformational meditation class to understand more about intention, sankalp, and also how to manifest your intentions better, how to focus your intention better. We're going to have some practical meditation session as well. Before I proceed, I wish to offer my gratitude to my mentors, Dr. Newton and Dr.Lakshmi, founders of QLU, Quantum Life University, with whom I've had an association of over 25 years. And it's been an amazing journey of learning and sharing that learning with thousands of others in the form of classes, programs, sessions, and counseling that I've been doing for the Quantum Life University for the past so many years. So let's come to this biggest truth. We all live our lives twice. First, in the world of our thoughts, and then in the outer world of our physical reality. So first life that we live is in the inner world of our thoughts, and the second life that we live is in the outer world of physical reality, and that's where we are actually manifesting everything in our physical world. So thought is actually the fastest thing in the universe. There's nothing that goes faster than thought. In one instant, it can go from one end of the universe to the other end of the universe, or from anywhere in the universe to anywhere else in the universe. It is the fastest in the whole universe. In among the questions that there is one episode in the Mahabharata where Yudhishthir and his brothers, all the five Pandavas, are roaming around in the jungles in search of water. And then they come to an enchanted lake. And in that lake, they find, and they have to come to find water. Yudhishthir sends his brothers one after the other to find water, because first one, no one, when the first one doesn't return, then he keeps sending other people, and finally he realizes that they've been drinking that water and it's actually poisoned water and they're falling unconscious. And the yaksha is asking certain questions, and he says, only if you answer my questions, then you will be permitted to drink the water. And without answering my questions, if you don't, if you still go ahead and drink the water, then you will die. So that's what happened, because the brothers did not heed the advice. And one of those questions was, what is the fastest thing in the world? And it is undoubtedly Yudhishthir, the wise one that he is. He gives the right answer for each and every question, including this one, which is that thought is the fastest thing in the whole universe. So thought is in your control. That's the good part of it, that you can actually control your thoughts. Although we think that we don't have the capability to control our thoughts, we have always the ability to control our thoughts. But our thoughts create our reality. So our reality is always in our control. So if we really want to simplify the concept of manifestation and how to create the intention into reality, the first step is visualization. We need to clearly visualize what we want to achieve or what we want to see manifested in our lives. And that is the first step, which is visualization. And the second step is verbalization. When we say verbalization, it's not necessary that you say it out loud, although it is quite effective and probably more effective if you say it out loud what you really want to do. But it's about articulating very clearly what you want to achieve and saying it in your mind with using the right words, which have the right meaning, which convey the right meaning about what you want to manifest. And that step is called the verbalization. So when you combine both these steps, the first step is the visualization and the second step is the verbalization, then what you have what is called as actualization, or the manifestation of what you do. So intention is about clarifying your thought, making your thought very clear and making it align to what you want to achieve. And this has two components: the visual component, where you need to visualize the image of what you want to manifest, and it has the verbal component, or what you call saying it. And that saying, it can happen in your mind, you can think it, and this is what you really want to manifest, and that is the verbal component. The visualization plus the actualization, the verbalization together form the actualization, which is the manifestation of what you want to achieve. So this is how we clarify our intent, we sharpen our intent, we focus our intent. Because intent is nothing but a thought. It is a thought on which we have given more focus and we have given clarity, and we have added these elements of visualization and verbalization to the thought, and then it becomes clear intent, and that intent goes and manifests in your life. So there are the reason why, if you look into the reason why visualization and verbalization are so important for manifestation, it's because thought itself is made of two primal energies. One is light and the other is sound. And when we say sound is what we do in verbalization, and light is what we need for visualizing something. So the light and the sound together is what manifests or creates. These two energies combine to form this clear intent. So that's why we say that we should have clear intentions. Clear in what way? The light should be clear, or the image of the intent should be clear, and also the sound or what you say should be very clear in terms precisely what exactly you want to achieve. So now it is said that if you can hold your attention on a particular thing for about 17 seconds, then you actually begin to attract enough mass and thought to start coming your way. This begins to actually start manifesting. And if you continue the same for 68 seconds continuously, then you can actually manifest it almost instantaneously. But here's the catch: 68 seconds seems like a very small amount of time, and it might feel like a very easy thing to be able to focus your attention completely for 68 seconds on the outcome that you wish to see manifested in your life. But it's not easy. Try it and you will know how many thoughts you will get in those 68 seconds. And if you really reach to that level of thought, mastering your own thoughts, that you can actually hold a clear intent for a period of 68 seconds, then you will become one of the ultimate masters of manifestation in life. So it's we need to take it step by step with your practice and through your regular sadhana, through your meditation and constant practice of visualization and verbalization. You need to keep increasing the amount of time that you can hold the outcome in your vision. You can clearly visualize it and verbalize it, and it keeps increasing, and as it keeps increasing, the manifestation becomes faster and faster. It goes, it's actually exponential. It's not just that okay, 17 seconds or 68 seconds, so will it be like 4 times faster? No, it's like exponential, like million times exponentially. The growth between every second of time that you can hold the visualization and verbalization really takes it, the growth to an exponential level. The manifestation increases at an exponential level. And this is found through many scientific studies which have been conducted. One of those experiments which have been conducted by a wonderful master called Lynn McTaggart, and she's from the United Kingdom. And she did this experiment with many other spiritual scientists from all over the world together, and it's called the intention experiment, which using latest scientific measuring instruments to understand what is happening around in the world and how the world is responding to the intention experiment, and they found a tremendous increase just by this intention, and they could prove it that the thought and the intention are actually creating this manifestation. Because otherwise, scientifically, it's very difficult to understand how something purely non-physical like a thought can directly have an outcome, or how it can manifest the creation of something at the physical level in this three-dimensional plane of matter. But it has been done, and not just, and this is not something new. This is not something that is not known. Our ancients, the ancient masters, all of them knew this. And I will also, in the later part of the presentation, share a few, just some of the wisdom of some of the masters from around the world who have clearly indicated how this intention works. Or I mean, they have said this ages ago, and all we are just reinventing all this, and we call this as new age spiritual science. But there's really nothing new age about the spiritual science. Spiritual science is as old as time itself. And we are just rediscovering something that has been discovered ages ago, but we are just trying to understand it in our scientific context, whereas earlier probably they just took it for granted because they knew that this was the certainty, that this was the truth. But probably now, with our rational minds, with our more skeptical approach and this overpowering influence of the scientific upbringing that most people have, we feel the need to have proof for everything. And yes, even that is available now in the form of amazing work done by many spiritual scientists around the world. So, coming back to this thing about manifestation, work on how to focus your thoughts for more and more time on a given outcome, on a given thing that you want to manifest in your life, and you can actually see the results coming in your life. And that ultimately, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So when you see it manifesting, when you see it that it has begun to work for you, then there is no other doubt that you will ever have about whether this is true or not. So let's come back to what exactly is intention and where does intention come from. We all understand that we live in a world of duality. So what is the what happens when you have this world of duality? In duality, you have light and darkness, you have big and small, you have hot and cold, all kinds of different contrasts and opposites that exist, which create duality and polarity in life. And this duality and polarity creates so many contrasts in the experiences that we have of life. Everything that we are experiencing in life, there are so many contrasts. And when we see these contrasts, we begin to have wants or desires. We want to have something. When we see something, we say, okay, this is something that I wish to have. And where does that come from? Because you see these things from one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum and everything in between. And you say, maybe not that extreme, but I want something here, or you may even want something which is at the extreme end of the spectrum. So these contrasts actually they have a purpose, and the purpose is to create within you the wanting for certain thing and a clarity about where exactly you want to operate in that spectrum. For example, you take the example of wealth, for instance, material wealth. So there is absolute poverty on one extreme to phenomenal wealth at the other end. And again, you have everything in between. So where exactly in that you wish to operate? Where would you see yourself positioned in with respect to wealth, let us say? So, and that's possible because you're able to see everything. If the whole world had everyone having exactly the same amount of wealth everywhere, then that wouldn't be an option for you to even think about. There's nothing to even think about something when there is no difference in anything anywhere. Because you have these contrasts, you know, and then you may have a desire for something more than a certain thing or something less than a certain thing, but eventually you'll come to a clarity of what exactly you want. So that becomes your point of wanting. So we live in a world of duality. The duality creates contrasts, and the contrasts create within you certain wants. They stimulate wants within you, and those wants become your point of wanting for each and every experience in life. And I give you just the example of money or wealth just so that we can understand more easily, because we all tend to understand material aspects more easily than the spiritual, and particularly when we talk about money and wealth, it's far easier because that's become kind of the common denominator for everything and for all comparisons in life today. And these wants then create within us certain intentions. So then we start thinking about them. So there first the thoughts that get created around these wants. And when we clarify these thoughts and we focus these thoughts and we come to a clarity about exactly what we want, then the intention also becomes clear. And that's how the clarity happens about the intention. So that's how we go from one step to the other step, and we go into the whole aspect of the creation and the intention. So I hope till now we are clear about how we have the intentions, the thoughts, how we the world of duality creates the contrast, and the contrasts stimulate within us the wants, and then the wants then generate thoughts within us, and these thoughts, the clarification of the thoughts, the crystallization, so to speak, of the thoughts brings about a clarity in the intention, and that intention is what creates everything that happens in your life. So now coming back to this thing about the manifestation and how we can become better at manifesting what we want, because we are all here as powerful creators on this three-dimensional earth, to be able to create on the material plane and use this environment as our playground. That's why sometimes this whole experience of life is called as Leela, or it's just like a play, because we need to be playful while doing all this. And that is it depends on the duration and intensity of a given thought. So how do we manifest better? The longer the thought, the more intense the thought that we have, the more powerful and faster the manifestation that happens. So you can start off with a small ripple, or if it is a giant wave, then the manifestation is more powerful. So the your personal energy field is first affected by your thought and by the intensity of the thought, and then that radiates outwards into the whole universe, and it gathers similar energies. And it's like how you have a small crystal and you keep it in a solution of water which is dissolved with that particular mineral, then it starts accumulating more and more, and the crystal starts growing bigger and bigger. So this is typically known as seeding, where you seed with a small crystal and then that starts accumulating from the solution, it starts attracting. The same way, your thoughts, when they go out, if they find something which is of a resonant energy, it attracts that. So the more powerful it is, the more it attracts, and the faster your manifestation happens, and the bigger will be your manifestation, the greater will be your manifestation. So what we need to understand now about the duration of the thought and the intensity of the thought. That's why we had these examples of how 17 seconds will manifest at a certain level, but 68 seconds, if you can really keep those thoughts completely focused for 68 seconds, then virtually you can create miracles. You can actually think of something, and what you think of can be in your hand. It is that powerful. Thought and intention are that powerful. But the obstacle to that is, of course, our own monkey mind. It always keeps jumping from one thought to another, and that's why we need meditation, because meditation is that foundational, fundamental, and most basic of all spiritual practices, which trains the mind, which helps the mind to filter out unwanted thoughts and to be able to focus on a particular thought for more and more time. And that begins with first learning how to make your mind completely empty of all thoughts. Only when you know how to make your mind empty, then you can then say, I will keep one particular thought for a longer period of time in my mind. So let's work on how to increase the duration of your thought and the intensity of the thought, so that from a small ripple, this becomes a giant wave and it manifests whatever you wish to manifest in your life. Now, there's now another factor that we need to add to be able to manifest better, and that is called emotion. Now, if you just have a plain and simple thought, and there is no emotion behind it, then it doesn't manifest so easily, because there is nothing which is driving that thought. There's no energy which is driving that thought. It is just pure thought by itself. Now here we have, in the human plane, we have this advantage of having emotion. It's such a powerful energy that when we add this emotion to the thought, then it goes and manifests much faster. An example which I can give is, let us take the thought to be like an arrow. Okay, your thought, the clarified thought, is your intention, because intention is nothing but a thought, but it is a much clearer thought. A very clear and focused thought is intention. Actually, there is no difference between the thought and intention, but every thought does not become intention. So just understand this. An intention is a thought, but all thoughts are not intentions, because many thoughts are just stray thoughts. They just lose their energy very quickly and then we don't think the same thought again. But intentions are thoughts on which we dwell for a longer period of time, so that you're giving it enough time to start manifesting. Remember the 17 seconds and 68 seconds. Now, 17 seconds and 68 seconds could just be metaphors, friends, but you need to understand that whenever you think of that 17 seconds and 68 seconds, then you will begin to understand how futile it is to try to manifest things without being able to think about the same thing for longer and longer period of time, knowing that that is the fundamental process through which manifestation occurs. So now let's look at the connection between your thought and the emotion, your intention and the emotion. Your intentions are like arrows. Your emotion is like the bow. Imagine having an arrow, but there is no bow. How far can you throw it? But if you have a bow and you string the bow tightly with strong string, with good spring action, strong spring action, that is nothing but emotion. That is the role that emotion plays in your life. So you put the arrow and then you pull the bowstring and then you release it. It would go huge distance, and it's going to go and hit the target. Manifestation is the target. So no wonder the greater the emotional intensity behind your intentions, the faster is the manifestation, the more powerful and bigger is the manifestation that happens. So you can now understand, when you look at the example of the arrow and the bow, how the arrow will go far only when there is a bow, and the bow is nothing but your emotion in life. And you can see in real life that the people who are most successful, who really manifest the things that they want to manifest, they are the ones who really feel very strongly emotionally about their intentions. So, and the stronger the emotion, the more powerful the manifestation. And we can see this practically happening in the lives of people who are great creators. So the best of creators, the best of manifestors, we can call them, are those who have clear intentions, but also they have very powerful emotions that go with it. So when you want to do something, you should also feel very passionate about what you want to do. And that's why they say that you must have a passion for something, then you can manifest that easily. But those are just that's just theory. but here we can actually get into the practical of it, try to understand how to actually manifest it and how to use your emotion and how to use the power of manifestation by clarifying your intention and focusing and giving it a boost with the emotional intensity behind the intentions to make the manifestation happen faster. So let's look at what some of the masters, how they had given such an important role to intent or sankalp. Let's look at one of the greatest masters, the Buddha. He has enumerated this eightfold path for improving the quality of our life. The eightfold path is a wonderful formula, a wonderful list of things which we can follow, guidelines, so to speak, to be able to live our lives with greater joy, success, and contentment, as well as purposeful and creative life. So, in the Eightfold Path, the second aspect of the Eightfold Path is called right intention. In Pali, it's called Samma Sankappa. Sankappa is nothing but Sankalp in Sanskrit. He says, all that we are is the result of what we have thought. It is founded in our thoughts and it is made up of our thoughts. So everything that we are is basically is referring to the external life, the external manifestations that we create in our lives. Everything, he says, without exception, are the result of what we have thought. And so basically it's our intention that creates our reality, and this is something that has been said by the Buddha as part of his eightfold path. And Buddha, one of the greatest spiritual scientists on earth. And for those of you who are not familiar, a wonderful master is Don Juan, who has been popularized by this great author called Carlos Castaneda, with his series of books, starting with The Teachings of Don Juan, which is one of his first books. And this master is a shaman master, Don Juan. He says impeccability begins with a single act that has to be deliberate, precise, and sustained. They just make note of these three things. It has to be deliberate. That means you just can't do it half-heartedly. You have to be very clear, I want to do this. It has to be precise, it has to be very clear, and it has to be sustained. So all the principles that we discussed earlier, that the manifestation, in order for it to happen properly, the thought or intent should be sustained for a long period of time. So that's what he talks about. It should be sustained. It has to be precise. You have to visualize clearly, and it has to be deliberate. That means out of all the stray thoughts, you have to clarify the thought and you have to bring that thought into a clear focus. And that is what we mean by deliberate. So deliberate, precise, and sustained. And if that act is repeated long enough, then one acquires a sense of unbending intent. And I really love this terminology, what he uses, and it's called unbending intent. Even in intent, he says it should be unbending intent. The intent can never change, should not change. It should be so clear that it should be like an unbending intent. It's a beautiful word, and words are magic, because when we focus on the words, the energy of the words keeps repeating within us, that stimulates new thought, and the new thought gives us again new energy to manifest things. So we must focus, and that's why we have our ancient scriptures and the ancient words of wisdom from the great masters. Why do we read them again and again? Because once we read that, it gives us greater clarity, greater understanding, and it brings in that new focus and new energy within us, and that stimulates greater manifestation of new things. So he says that with unbending intent, once you acquire this quality of unbending intent, it is not only in one area of your life. Every aspect of your life, you can use that unbending intent. And if that is accomplished, then the road becomes very, very clear. So when he talks about the road, it is the road to manifestation, the road to creation. That is what becomes clear. So amazing wisdom. And this is just one paragraph of wisdom from this great master. I highly recommend reading this book, The Teachings of Don Juan by Carlos Castaneda. And you can really learn about manifestation. And this phrase or this description of unbending intent is something unparalleled. I've never seen that kind of a description in by any other master, and it really stuck with me. Whenever I think of manifesting something, I remember the book and how the impact that it had on me, and this phrase of unbending intent, and it gives me that greater clarity and focus. And I'm sure it's going to have a similar effect on each one of you who's going to read this book. Then Jack Confield, and the New Age master, he says, be mindful of intention. That means be completely aware of intention, because intention is the seed that creates our future. Intention is the seed that creates our future. And friends, just because I've listed a few masters, that doesn't mean that there are no other masters who have talked about the power of intention and manifestation. There are thousands. I cannot list them even if I keep talking for next few days about the names of these masters and their works, and how amazing the contribution that they have made to our understanding of this very powerful law in the world of the universe, which is the law of attraction and the law of manifestation. So this is another one by Jack Confield. He says, be mindful of intention. Intention is the seed that creates our future. And another wonderful master, Wayne Dyer, who passed away a few years ago. Amazing book. His book, The Power of Deliberate Intent, Power of Deliberate Intention, an amazing book which I had the good fortune to read, Wayne Dyer's book on the power of deliberate intention. And that's amazing. He says, by banishing doubts and trusting your intuitive feelings, you clear a space for the power of intention to flow through. Because the question that would then come among most people is, how do we remove doubt? How do we stop the hurdles or obstacles that prevent us from making our intention more clear? What do we need to do that? And he gives just two very simple things. He says, one, we must banish doubt. Whenever doubt arises, you treat it as if it is something like some dirt that is in your room, which you just sweep it off. You completely clear off that doubt from within your mind. Okay, and then you must trust your intuitive feelings, because as you meditate more and as you improve your spiritual capabilities, you will receive intuition from within. And when you receive that intuition, you must begin to trust it. The more you trust intuition, the more you're going to receive the intuitions. So by doing these two things, you will be able to focus your intention better and make room for the intention to begin to manifest. So just such amazing. I mean, imagine putting the entire wisdom of all that into just one simple quotation. That's the beauty of masters such as Wayne Dyer. And again, I strongly recommend all the books that he has written about manifestation. Please read them, and just read this again: by banishing doubt, first step, and trusting your intuitive feelings, because both cannot coexist. As long as you have doubts, your intuition will not come through. And once you begin to trust your intuition, there is no more room for doubt. in your thoughts. So it's so beautiful that you need to first work on doubts, because doubts keep coming. It's human for us to start thinking about negative things, to think about negative outcomes, to have doubts about the possibility of success or failure. And whenever you have a possibility of success or failure, the thought of that possibility is in your mind, immediately our mind goes towards the doubt side of it. It's more possible that it goes like that. And we must learn and practice how to banish doubt, and then you allow the intuition to come through, and you begin to trust your intuition, and then you become very powerful in making the intention, and you support the process of the manifestation of these intentions. So friends, so that was a small presentation about intention and the power of intention, Sankalp Shakti. And because we are all powerful creators, and I wish that you all go ahead and become very powerful creators that you were meant to be on this, in this existence. And please go through our website. And now I open up to any questions that you have on the presentation before we go into the guided meditation. Yes, friends, you can enter in the comment section. I'll be able to see them, and hopefully we can take a few questions. Yes, Prajakta is asking that can intention cause friction, and that is friction that keeps away from the intent from happening. Actually, if there is friction, is only caused, as Wayne Dyer said, from doubt. As long as there are doubts, they are the only things that can prevent the intention from happening. So if you find that you're intending something and it's not happening, that means that in your thought process, you're allowing a lot of contradicting thoughts to come into your thinking process. So you need to become aware of it, and you can remove them as and when they manifest. If you have more number of intentions, how to handle? Every intention is handled independently in exactly the same way. The rule is the same for all. So you can handle all of them in exactly the same way. But yes, one after the other. You can't intend multiple things in the same thought flow or thought pattern, thought process. So do them one after the other. Unfortunately, multitasking doesn't work here when it comes to manifestation. Your manifestation, you should do it one after the other. Focus on one thing and then allow it. You can relax about it and let that thought come out. You come out of it, but you end on a positive note where completely you're with the positive note. Then the work has already begun. You don't have to continue to keep worrying about whether it's happening or not, because it will start happening. So yes, Aparna says how to get in. I couldn't quite understand that, how to get in. Sai Sweta says how to overcome doubts and how ifs of manifestation. Yes, ifs come because of our own lack of confidence on ourselves. and our inability to trust our own intuitions. So again, go back to what Wayne said. He said, what stops us from manifestation? One is when you give energy to the doubts. So just remove the doubts. It might feel like a fake thing. You say that, but really I'm not capable. So why should I not doubt it? It doesn't work that way. The moment you begin to doubt yourself, then you're adding more and more energy to the opposite of the manifestation. So if you want the manifestation to happen, the moment you get a doubt, first you need to develop awareness through the practice of meditation, that you can even sense the doubtful thoughts or the negative thoughts that are coming up. Most of the time we are not even aware of the thoughts that come. They come so subtly, and suddenly we find that we are completely in a total path of negative thought, and we don't know when we started that. The key is to know when this is happening, because when we develop awareness, we'll know this is the beginning of the negative thought, this is the beginning of the doubt. So nip it in the bud, stop it there itself, and shift it into some other kind of thought process, into a more positive way. So there are tools and processes which you will evolve for yourself, you will learn for yourself, you will come up with your own tools, or you can rely on wonderful tools that are provided by different masters who have really worked on this aspect of manifestation and spend their entire lives writing books about these things and giving you so many wonderful guided meditations about that. So another one is Parag asks, can we share an example in daily life where one can implement intentions by practice of thoughts? You can take up any aspect of your work, any aspect of your work, but you need to analyze clearly the thought process that you are having about those works that you wish to manifest. When you develop awareness, it becomes very clear to you that you are really entertaining a lot of negative thoughts. You are giving them energy, you are thinking about them once they start coming into your awareness. But the key is to develop the awareness and just allow those thoughts to die down and to dismiss those thoughts and come back. That's where your practice of awareness comes in. So can we intend with a time frame? That is, we want something within a time. Yes, it is. In fact, it is a good process to intend within a time frame. The time frame is one of the clarities that you're giving to that intention. So, for example, if you say that I want a new home, but that is an intention, but it is not clear. But if I say I want a new home in 2 years' time, then that is a clear intention. So that has a better chance of manifesting than just an intention which says I want a new home, because that could happen anytime in your lifetime or maybe in some other lifetime too. So it's good to have a time frame. So when intention is clear, there is external factors as hurdle. What do you do in that situation? So this is what we need to understand, is that every external factor is actually created by our internal process. If you go back to what the Buddha has said, everything in your experience, it started from inside. Now this is very difficult for us to accept, because we see the mess that is there around in our lives, and then we say I couldn't have created this, so someone else has created all this mess. So first thing is to take ownership for what is happening around. So whatever is there, all the mess, first acknowledge that yes, this is my creation. That's the first step for you to be able to clear it. If you're sitting in a house and it's filthy, dirty, and all dust and dirt all over the place, but you deny it and say it's all fine, right? Or I didn't do this, I didn't create all this dirt and dust, but who is going to clear it for you? So you need to first understand that this is your creation. Whatever is happening in your life is created by you. Then it becomes easy. That's the first step for you to be able to go and actually clear that and change it. Okay, so how many days we have to practice on one intention? There's nothing like number of days. Like as you as you become able to keep the thought for longer and longer period of time with clarity and focus, you will find that your intentions will begin to manifest faster and faster. So there is no such thing as a preset time. But the process of meditation and the process of learning how to manifest your intentions anytime, any new practice, it is good to practice it for 40 days. When you do that for 40 days, then it becomes a permanent part of you. This learning of this practice becomes a permanent part of you. So you apply it to anything, that even at the physical level. Let's say you want to learn how to, become a good swimmer. Let's say you practice every day for 40 days this swimming. There's no way that in your life you will ever forget how to swim. Even after 10 years gap, someone throws you into the water, you will be able to swim very well. 40 days is actually, it is not some kind of a superstitious number. It is a number that has been evolved or has been decided upon since ancient times, because masters could understand how the human mind works, how much time it takes for us to form a habit, whether it is a positive habit or a negative habit. It takes that much of time for us to internalize that habit, and or any process or practice to internalize it, it takes that much time. So work on it. For anything new that you learn, work on it properly, dedicatedly for 40 days, and you will find that manifestation, or rather that the benefit of that you will begin to see very soon after that. And that becomes the motivation for you to continue that practice. And it doesn't mean that after 40 days you must stop. You can just keep going from there, from one level to the next level. So thank you for asking that question. So friends, so now let's begin let's take a 2 or 3 minute break. It's 5:55. We'll be back at just 6 p.m. and from 6 we will do a meditation, to starting off with Anapanasati and a little bit of guided meditation on how to clarify your intentions and how to make your intentions more powerful. So for this, I would want you to think about something that you wish to manifest in your life. And I want you to focus on that and decide on what exactly you want to do within the next few minutes, so that when we do the meditation, you don't have to start thinking about it at that time. You already have what you want to work upon in the meditation. So see you in another 4 minutes. So while our friends are coming back, I will quickly answer two more questions that were left unanswered. One is Brinda, who says, can this be applied in ruined relationship? Yes, it can be applied. And the last question is that, can we intend for others? No, you cannot intend for others, because your thoughts will work only for you. It doesn't work for others. Everyone has to do their own creation of intentions and their own manifestation. Welcome back, friends. Now let's begin the meditation.
6 o'clock.
Just find a quiet, calm place where you will not be disturbed for the next 30 minutes. Sit comfortably. If you are sitting in a chair, you can cross your feet at the ankles and clasp your hands, interlock your fingers, place your clasped hands in your lap, close your eyes, and just observe your breath. Watch your breath. Witness your breath. If you're sitting on the floor, you can sit cross-legged on the floor and clasp your hands, interlock your fingers, keep your clasped hands in your lap, and close your eyes and observe your breath. Observe how your breath is going in and how it's going out. Just be with the in-breath and out-breath. Ana means in-breath, apana is out-breath, and sati means to be with. So anapanasati is to be with your in-breath and out-breath. Focus your awareness completely on the breath. Just withdraw your awareness from all external stimuli, external sounds, any other distractions. Just let them be and focus your complete awareness on your breath. No need to breathe deeply or no need to hold your breath. Just follow your natural, easy, effortless, peaceful, calm, tranquil breath. Notice how effortless your breath is. Notice how it happens automatically. Notice the energy that flows into you along with the breath. Awareness brings in energy. Notice how the energy of your breath increases when you give more attention to your breath. So pay more and more attention to your breath. For you, at this point of time, nothing else exists. It is just you and your breath. You are your breath. When you are with your breath, your mind becomes empty. When your mind becomes empty, cosmic energy flows into you. When cosmic energy flows into you, your vibration level increases. You begin to get intuition. These are different from your thoughts. These come in the form of insights coming from deep within you. The way to differentiate intuition from thoughts is this. Thoughts come all together. From the clutter of your thoughts, you get more thoughts. But intuition comes from a mind that is empty of all thoughts. So when you have reached to the stage where your mind has become thought free, even if it is for a few moments, and in that no mind state, in that thought free stage, you suddenly get some insight. That is intuition. For the next few minutes, focus on reaching to a zero thought stage. Whenever you get any thoughts, just say to yourself that right now my work is to follow my breath. Automatically, that thought will die down. The longer you are in that no thought stage, the more adept you will become in being able to hold a single thought for a longer period of time. The more you can hold that thought free stage, the more intuition and insights you will receive. The longer you are in that thought free stage, the more you allow your previous intentions to manifest without working against them with contradicting thoughts. A few more minutes. Be completely with the breath, your total attention to the breath, and completely reach to that thought free stage. And now, just remember that intention that you wished to manifest before the beginning of this meditation. Just focus your mind completely on that intention. Visualize a scene in your mind's eye where you can clearly see how it would look once your intention has manifested. And say to yourself in your mind that this has begun to manifest. It is already happening. And everything is leading to the manifestation of this. If you get any doubts, just say to yourself that this is my old thinking. Don't struggle with the doubt, don't fight with the doubt, but just say and acknowledge the doubts and say, this is my old thinking. Just allow these images to become more and more clear in your mind's eye, as if you are watching a very clear, vivid movie in all vibrant colors, in movement, like a movie, everything happening. And then you continue to reaffirm to yourself that everything is manifesting, it is happening. All that is needed to manifest is falling in place. And now, when you see this beautiful imagery, this video imagery of your wish manifesting and you saying that it is all happening. Sense the joy within you, the satisfaction within you, as if it's all already happened. Just as when you watch a funny movie, even if you're in a sad state, you will still laugh. In just the same way, allow this imagery to take you into an altered state of emotions that has nothing to do with your present emotional state. It's purely driven by the impact that this imagery has on you. And allow these positive emotions to be felt in your entire body. Just like when you laugh heartily, that laughter vibrates throughout each and every cell in your body. Let this joy, this satisfaction, and this sense of achievement and completion of that work, let it vibrate throughout your body. Allow this sensation to intensify, to become more and more and more with every breath that you take. And you must remember this feeling and allow this intensity to increase to such an extent that it should be something out of this world, something that you have never experienced before. It should also be something that you will never forget. Years later, when you just sit down to remember this meditation, you should feel exactly how you are feeling now. You should recollect the intensity of the sensations in your body. Let the emotions be so intense that you can actually feel them in your body. You can feel the elevation of that energy in every cell of your body. And in that elevated state of being, I want you to give thanks to everyone and everything in your life experience that has helped in the manifestation of this thing that you wanted to manifest. And feel that gratitude in your body, in each and every cell of your body. Allow the intensification of all these sensations with every breath that you take. Just continue to be in this heightened state of energy for another 2 minutes.
It's 6:30.
Another 1 minute. Just be in that high energy state. That is the state of the powerful manifester that you are. Now, slowly start returning back into the present moment, into your alert, awake, present state, into this awareness with this entire experience forever becoming a part of you. And whenever you are ready, you can slowly open your eyes Welcome back, friends. And we could just have a few sharings. Yes, would anyone like to begin sharing? And if anyone has any questions, we could take that as well about their experience or about the whole meditation class. So thank you, friends. Thank you for joining us today in this meditation on the power of intention. Yes, thank you all for your sharings. Happy to, I would request you all to practice this on a regular basis and see how you can improve the manifestation in your life. And you can give us the feedback. I wish to make one small announcement. In Quantum Life University, we are now conducting two wonderful e-treats, and these are the online versions of the 6-day retreats that we have been conducting since many years at the Quantum Life University campus. So one is on inner child work. It's called Inner Child Intensive E-Treat, and the other one is Family Constellation E-Treat. So details are available in our website, qluglobal.org. So please visit our website, look at these programs, and if you wish to, the Inner Child program is going to start in exactly 6 days from now. It is on 18th of this month. And if you feel that that would add value to the work that you're already doing on healing yourself and taking your own inner understanding to the next level, then please consider joining these programs, both the inner child intensive and the family constellation. So the registrations for the inner child intensive will be closing soon because we just have 6 days more to go for the program. And we look at you to please share it also with your friends and those who might benefit from this program. Thank you very much, friends. Namaste, and we will keep continuing our Sunday transformational meditation classes, and we look forward to your feedback through email and through our website and any other social media platforms on which we have a presence. So thank you all. Thank you very much. Namaste again. Bye.